Hello, welcome back to another video. Today I want to share with you a few things that I've learned since starting up my BookTube channel that I wish I had known 6 months ago. So I started my BookTube channel in the middle of July, so literally 6 months ago, pretty much to the day, and I started not having a Scooby-Doo what I was doing. And when I started my channel, this was one of the first videos that I planned to make, and that was to sit down at 6 months and talk about the things that I had learned and the learning curve that I had been on over the last 6 months. And it has been a learning curve. So I have a few different things, bits and bobs to share with you that you might find useful if you are considering starting a YouTube channel or you have just started one yourself. So let's start right at the top. The very first thing you have to do to start a BookTube channel is read books and want to talk about them. If you have those two things, you are a qualified booktuber. All you need is a phone or a camera to film on and off you go. You really don't need any more than that to start a channel. That's it. That is the basis of it. What I want to talk to you about is a couple of things that maybe you can do to help your channel grow, to help get some visibility within the community, to help engage and to meet people who are like-minded. And yeah, so those are the sort of tips that I'm going to give you today. I'm going to start by talking about search engine optimization, SEO, for lack of a less intimidating word to say. Just things that you can do to make sure that people can see your content, because let's be honest, you're sitting down in front of a camera talking to people about books, and you want people to watch your video and interact with you and talk to you about the books that you're reading and the books that they're reading. That's sort of the whole point in starting up a BookTube channel, to talk to other people who like books. And they can only do that if they can find your content. So probably the first people who are going to subscribe to you are going to be other booktubers, because this is the most lovely community, and booktubers support other booktubers, particularly if you're in the same year group, I'm going to call it. So channels that are a similar size to you, that are starting around the same time as you can really support each other. And that is something that I have felt overwhelmingly supported by, is other channels similar size to me that I talk to on Instagram, I talk to on Voxer, on Storygraph, and all sorts of things. So the way you do that is by looking for other channels of a similar size. Now, the easiest search term for people looking for new booktubers is the BookTube newbie tag. So pretty much every booktuber now does that as a rite of passage. I'm gonna level with you here. Those questions are really boring, especially when you've watched them done hundreds of times. So one thing that I wish that I had done, and which I would do if I was starting a channel in 2022, is that I would film probably 3 or 4 videos, including the BookTube newbie tag, and upload them all on the same day. So I would put together a couple of videos along the lines of the sort of content that I am planning to make. So perhaps that would be a TBR video or a book recommendation video, obviously the new YouTube newbie tag, and maybe a vlog or something along those lines, and I would upload them all on the same day. That way, when someone finds your channel via the newbie tag, they can see what kind of content you are making, what kind of books you read, what your sort of personality style is, and they'll be able to see if you are the kind of booktuber that they want to subscribe to, because it's very difficult to tell that from the BookTube newbie tag. So that is like my first tip. If you're going to start a new channel, maybe consider making a couple of videos to sort of front load your channel with. Next up, comments. Always respond to your comments. If people have taken the time and effort to watch your video and say something about it, then you should reply to them. I make a concerted effort to reply to all of my comments. I try to do that on the same day that people comment. I understand that as you get bigger that might not always be possible, but let's be frank, I'm a small booktuber. If you're watching this video, it's probably because you are a small booktuber or you want to start a BookTube channel. So there's no reason why you can't respond to half a dozen, 20 comments. It doesn't have to be a long drawn out response, just a thank you for leaving a comment, thank you for watching. It's always really appreciated by your audience. So I highly advise you to respond to comments. It also introduces you to other people in the BookTube world, whether that's other creators or subscribers. So I've met lots of lovely people via the comments, and honestly it's been a joy getting to know a lot of these people. The other thing you should do is comment on other creators' content. Again, this just allows you to be more visible in the community, to be a part of it, to really sort of immerse yourself in all the best parts of BookTube. And I mean, I'm speaking for myself here, this may not be the case with everybody, but I quite often will leave a comment and then I'll see who else has commented on that video, and if it's a booktuber that I am not already subscribed to or aware of, then I will go and check out their content, because I think, oh, well, if that person liked this video, then maybe I will like their videos, if you're with me. Another great way to be more visible in the community is to participate in tags. So if you're not familiar, a tag video is where you have a set of questions and you answer them. Usually they're bookish questions where you have to give a book recommendation based on a prompt, but they can be more personal ones. Like I recently did the my favourite things tag, which is just a bit more about me for those that care. But these are really great because they allow you to tag other creators. So what that does is, for the audience that is watching your video, they can then see the kind of creators that you're watching, that you are engaging with, and they will go and check them out. And then vice versa, if you are tagged in someone else's video, then people will come over and perhaps watch your content and subscribe. The next thing that I want to talk about is your channel name. So a lot of channel names are bookish, a lot of them are very similar, but I don't think that really matters in the grand scheme of things. What I would say is that it's probably helpful to have the same name across whatever social media platforms you're using to support your BookTube channel. So if you're using Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or Storygraph, if you have the same name across all of those, it makes it a lot easier for people to find you and know that that is you when you're interacting with them as well. Okay, so the last one, which is more on a sort of digital marketing side of SEO, and that is keywords and hashtags. So recently I have been doing a bit of research into sort of how to get my videos out there a bit more, how to get more impressions. If you're not familiar with what impressions are, they are basically the number of times that YouTube will flash your thumbnail on someone's screen. So obviously if YouTube is only giving you 10 impressions, then the likelihood that all those 10 people are going to watch you is quite slim, and your content is not going very far. So you want to try and increase your impressions. When you're getting more impressions, you then want people to click on your content, and the way that they're going to do that is if you have a good title and thumbnail. So I'm not going to get into the aesthetics of thumbnails. I will leave some links below for great channels that will tell you more about why you need good thumbnails to generate flow through your channel. But what I did want to focus on is keywords. So when you're coming up with a video concept, just think about what you think people will type in the search box, and is that in your thumbnail, is it in your title, is it in your introduction when you're speaking, and is it in your description? Because if it's in all of those places, you're likely to be ranked higher for that search term. You can also use hashtags, which can be really useful. I only discovered this quite recently. But if you put those in your description box and or title, then that makes it easier sometimes to be found also. So I'm not going to touch heavily on the technical side of things, but I just have a couple of tiny weeny things. Firstly, equipment. You do not have to spend a shed load of money on equipment. I film and edit everything on my phone right there. And I got a ring light bought for me for Christmas, which I also have on because this room is really dark. And that is all the equipment that I use. I use nothing else. You don't have to go out and spend a fortune on a fancy camera and fancy lighting and microphones and all the rest of it. I would say give it a go first on the cheap and cheerful option, if you like it, then you can always invest in equipment later down the line, but I'd say give it a go before you start investing in stuff. And I don't think it's really necessary, particularly if your main goal is just to have a waffle about books, which is kind of my goal. When it comes to the editing part of BookTube, that was what I found the hardest thing to learn. I had never edited a video in my life, and you will see that quite clearly if you go back to my very first video, which was the mid-year book freakout tag, where I filmed the whole thing in portrait. Yes, I did. And the thumbnail was shocking because it was just one of the preloaded ones that BookTube gives you, again in portrait. But I have left it on my channel because it shows me how far I have come. The fact that, yes, you can start from literally not even knowing which way up to hold your phone when you're recording, to a point where hopefully this setup is a bit better. I have hopefully some aesthetics going on. I have slightly better lighting, and I'm generally just a bit more comfortable in front of the camera. And that has just taken 6 months. It takes 6 months to, you know, get into your groove, I suppose. So I use iMovie on my phone to edit everything. It's free, easy to use, really intuitive, highly recommend. Talking to some other booktubers who are sort of the same size as me, who started around the same time as me, I know that InShot and Splice are also quite popular. I personally don't use them, so I can't give you a review on them, but I know that other booktubers found them quite easy to use. So if you're looking for editing apps, then maybe those three are a good place to start. And I just wanted to finish off, really, this, I'm not doing a huge rambly video, but I just wanted to finish up by saying, really, BookTube should be fun. So if you're thinking about starting up a channel, don't sweat all the small stuff. Just give it a go, pick up your camera, film a video, even if it's utter trash, just upload it, and then you are a booktuber, and then you can work out all the kinks as you go through. Talk to people in the community, because honestly, everyone is so lovely, and have fun with it, really. And don't forget to also fit some reading around all the filming and editing, because my reading went after I started BookTube. So yes, enjoy. If you found this video useful in any way, shape or form, then please leave me a comment below. If you have any tips that you want to leave for other people and for me, always love a tip, then please drop those below as well. And if you have enjoyed this content, then I would love it if you would subscribe. And that is it, guys. So thank you very much for being here, and I will see you again soon with another one.